If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good. And Mike, wasn't Ishmael just another great guest?
Yeah, I've already got my bags packed. I want to go to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, here we come, May 25th to 27th. You got to go. Hey, listen, the second half of the show is going to be just as great as the first half. We've got a young entrepreneur, Eduardo Sciammarella, who's the founder of GatherGreencom, talking about being the green Groupon. And guess what? In this world, Mike, what I've learned is whether you're rich or poor, everybody loves a great deal.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what? Whether you're rich or poor, everybody's got that $1 million idea. They just haven't kicked it over yet.
So I think you've got to listen to this commercial and come on back to Green is Good.
If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so excited to have with us today Eduardo Sciammarella from Southern California, who's a social entrepreneur, and he's the co-founder of GatherGreen.com. Welcome to Green is Good, Eduardo.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, Eduardo, like every journey, yours is fascinating. And I want you to share with our listeners a little bit about you. We were talking off the air before you came on, and we thank you for your time today. You're doing great things online, and we're going to get to that in a second. But share a little bit about where you've been before you started GatherGreen.com.
Sure. My background is basically in design. I studied design in Chicago, and then after college, just as I was finishing college, I won the Sony International Design Competition, and I did a quick internship at Apple Computers, and then went to work for Sony Electronics, pretty much did the entire tour of Sony except for their insurance business, but got the chance to work in Japan in their research labs, worked on advanced concepts there, worked at Sony Pictures. That's how I ended up back in LA. And my biggest contribution was developing the jog wheel for Sony's phones, which then was made popular by the BlackBerry.
And all of our listeners out there that have had your thumb on a jog wheel now or have had your thumb on a jog wheel before, this is the man, Eduardo Sciammarella. We have him today at Green is Good. Well, Eduardo, you also are very humble. You have over 40 patents, and you've won several international design awards. We're actually thrilled to have you on because you are doing so much good, and you really, truly are a social entrepreneur. Share with us a little bit about why and how you created now this GatherGreen.com and what was the epiphany while you were doing all your great designs to create this? Sure.
Well, just before I started GatherGreen, I was working on another startup in the mobile space. And, as I mentioned, I was working with Sony and generally in the consumer electronics space for more than 10 years. And there was always a part of me that felt something was missing. And basically last summer, I got into a business acceleration program, like a little incubator called the Founder Institute, which has chapters all over the world now. And basically things just sort of came together from there. I knew that I wanted to start a business that also had a greater purpose. And at the same time, I was doing some consulting with one of Groupon's early competitors out of Chicago. And so I got a little bit of a head start in terms of understanding the whole business model. And I thought it would be great to apply that idea of daily deals to the sustainable, the green space.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, so then how did you then think about Gather Green and why that name and who are your partners? How did this, we have so many entrepreneurs that listen that want to be the next Eduardo. How do we, share a little bit about that journey? Like how did you come up with the name and who are your partners in this?
Sure. So actually the coming up with the name is a funny story. One of the sessions in the Founders Institute, we had to, during a break, grab one of the mentors there and pitch them our company so that they could in turn pitch it to the class. And I basically went up to Kelly Perdue, who's now on my board of advisors. He's CEO of Pass Point Games and also winner of the second season of The Apprentice. Really cool guy. Huh. And so while he was in the bathroom taking a leak, I pitched him my company, and at the time it was called Daffodil. And so then when he went up to pitch it, he looked at me right before it, and he's like, "We got to change the name. What's your second choice?" And I said, GatherGreen. And so he pitched it using that name.
Wonderful. I like it. Well, that's a great story. And talk a little bit about the Founders Institute. How did you get hooked up with that? That's a fascinating paradigm. I've never even heard of them. Where are they located, and how can other entrepreneurs hook up with them?
Absolutely. So you can just go to founderinstitute.com.
Okay.
And the guy who started that was a gentleman by the name of Adeo Resi, who also started the Funded, and he's an accomplished entrepreneur in his own right. And basically, he wanted to help entrepreneurs. So it's very much focused on helping founders. One of the first things they tell you, the first sessions is, what is your passion? Because if you're going to be doing a startup, it takes a lot of hard work, and you better love what you're going to do. Otherwise, you're just not going to make it. So it starts from there, and then every class is a different process in building a company, and you've got mentors that come in and speak, very accomplished CEOs. And like I said, there's chapters all over the world now, from Paris to Berlin to San Francisco. I think there's even one in Chile now.
Wow. Perfect. So that's wonderful. So for our listeners out there, founderinstitute.com sounds like a wonderful program for all our young green entrepreneurs out there that really want to be the next Eduardo, and we applaud that. So now Mike and I are with you on an elevator. We're stuck with you on an elevator going from the first floor to the 25th floor, and you hand us your card, and it says GatherGreen.com. You're the founder. You're the CEO. What is GatherGreen.com?
Simply put, it is the green Groupon. We are the Whole Foods of daily deals. You sign up and you get a daily deal in your inbox on amazing, sustainable, local green businesses near you.
Perfect. And this is for across the United States, Eduardo?
Well, we've launched in Los Angeles. We've been running for the last 4 or 5 months here, doing 3 deals a week. But we're looking to expand pretty soon. And a lot of the deals that we offer are from online businesses. So it doesn't matter where you live, you can sign up and still get the deals. But eventually we want to have different GatherGreens in each cities that really offer local deals.
Wonderful. So, now we have a lot of listeners that are not only consumers, but they're also merchants. How do the merchants sign up, and why should merchants sign up with GatherGreen?
Sure. So for merchants, really, the daily deal promotional vehicle is one of the best ways to get a return on investment when it comes to advertising and trying to get new customers. So if you've got a small business and you want to put a radio ad out or a newspaper ad out, you have to pay upfront, and it's really hard to measure how that leads to actual foot traffic. In our case, you sign up with us. You can do that through the website, or you can contact us at sales@gathergreen.com. And basically, there's no upfront cost. We work out what the promotion is for you. We do the creatives. We make it a very attractive offer. And then we blast it out to our subscribers. So whether or not they buy the deal, they're getting exposure straight away. And then when they do buy the deal, we give you, once the deal closes, we give the merchant a list of who bought, and they're going to come into your store or go to your online store and make a purchase. And so you have a direct ROI on your advertising dollar. And the idea for us is that we want to continue to provide value long-term for the merchant. So we really see it as an important relationship, because a lot of these people are doing great things in their businesses, and we want to provide a spotlight for them and really build long-term relationships.
Eduardo, just from a consumer standpoint, now John and I are both on GatherGreen right now, and you get a great deal right now. $30 for $60 worth of yoga wear at Divine Blessings. Now, unlike Groupon, you don't have to get X number of people taking advantage of the deal for it to stick. Is that correct?
Every deal is different. A lot of the deals that we're running right now, don't have a minimum, but that's some of the things that we work out with the merchants depending on their parameters. So there's a lot of mechanics to these deals which drive, purchasing. Obviously, they're time limited. Sometimes they're quantity limited. So
it really is for the merchandiser and your advertising partner. It really is ultimately very scalable. It
is very scalable and very customizable to whatever product they have. And we talk to the merchants about really trying to, like I said, customize and tailor an offer that's really going to drive traffic in a way that they need. For instance, let's say it's a restaurant and they need to bump up some of their lunch traffic. We can run a deal with them that is focused on a lunch special. That type of thing. It's a very powerful tool for local businesses.
So, so tell us a little bit about how do you differentiate yourself? It seems like this is becoming a very hot area, this whole Groupon area. Now, you're the green Groupon. Are there other green Groupons out there? And how do you differentiate yourself now that this is becoming sort of a proven and attractive area on the online world?
Absolutely. There are other green Groupon types. I won't mention any names.
No, of course.
The way that we differentiate ourselves, we really try to focus on the deals themselves. The deals, this is a content business in many ways, and the deals are the content. So we want to obviously get the best merchants we can, build relationships with them, craft deals that are really unique. So we have a deal coming up, for instance, with a clothing company that has a store in Santa Monica, and we're going to throw a little event in the store on a specific day where people who purchase that deal can come in, do the shopping and also participate in an event with live music. So we're really trying to craft these deals in a really interesting way. Additionally to that, we have a Did You Know section, which is an educational component. Because we're focused on sustainability, we want to make sure that people understand what the issues are. So if we're doing a deal with a clothing company, we might talk about fair trade and provide some information for people. And then finally, we also have a daily action. And each action relates back to the deal. So we might ask you to donate some money or to sign a petition or to take a small step in your own life to go green. And this is a way that basically we want to communicate to our subscribers that the answer isn't necessarily making a purchase every day. We think of ourselves as helping people make a more conscious purchase, using their dollars more consciously. But regardless of whether you like the deal or not that day, come to our site, check out the daily action, and do that little step every day to make change.
Got it. And so talk about some of the deals you've done. So our listeners want to know, and we have lots of listeners in California, so they want to know what kind of deals. I mean, this is a wonderful one, as Mike said, right in front of us here, $30 for $60 worth of yoga wear. That's at Divine Blessings. That's amazing. Who are some of the other merchants that you have that you've spotlighted deals with?
Absolutely. So we did a deal with a business in Santa Monica called The Healthy Spot. It's a pet store. They actually have 2 locations, one in West Hollywood as well. And they're certified by the city of Santa Monica as a green business. So we did a deal with them, which was, I think, 15 for 30 for pet services. And they have Reiki healing for pets as well as blueberry facials for your pet, which is pretty interesting.
That's awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah. We've done a deal with a tattooist named James Spooner at Timeless Tattoo, who's a vegan tattooist. So all the equipment, the inks, the materials that he used have no animal products in them. So for all those vegans out there that like tattoos, you want to go to him. We've also done a deal with Follow Your Heart in Canoga Park, which is one of the long-standing vegetarian restaurants and cafes. So really a wide range of deals. We're always looking for great merchants. And you would be surprised. Every business you can think of that's out there, there's a green alternative from, even carpet cleaning. It's unbelievable.
Pest control, dry cleaning, everybody's going green. So your site could literally be as vibrant and as huge as Groupon one day.
That's the idea. And hopefully we continue to delight people. And really, I mean, since I started this company, I'm surprised at all the businesses that I'm discovering out there. And I've lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. So I want to provide that same value to a consumer so that every time they get the daily email, they find out about a new exciting business that's right around the corner from them.
Hey, if you just joined our show, Mike and I are so lucky to have today Eduardo Sciammarella. He's on with us. He's the founder and CEO of GatherGreen.com. Go to the site now if you've got your iPad or laptop or desktop in front of you. www.GatherGreen.com. Eduardo, so tell us a little bit more about expansion. Are you getting a lot of other merchants from around the nation saying, "Hey, I want to be part of this"? Are you looking at other cities, and where do you go next? Like, how do this is 1 foot forward at LA and the Southern California region. How do you decide where the second foot forward is?
So right now on our website, you can sign up, and we actually have a drop-down menu if you live in another city that we're looking at expanding into. I think they are San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, Chicago. So we have those listed there. You can also, if you're in another city, just subscribe there. We're probably going to start on the West Coast because we have a lot of good contacts here, and go from there. There's so many great cities out there that are big in sustainability, from Seattle to Austin to San Francisco. I mean, you name it, and a lot of in between. So we really want to hear from our customers or people that live in these cities. If you want GatherGreen to come to your city, please drop us a line and let us know. Right now, we're bootstrapping this company. So, the great thing about a daily deal business is that it is a very cash flow positive type business. So as we grow, we have more money to expand, and we're putting everything we can right now back into the business so that we can, start from a really solid foundation as we move forward. And from a business point of view, there is seemingly it's easy to get up a daily deal site and get it going, but actually behind the scenes there's a lot of operations that need to go smoothly. And since we've been looking at the space for a long time, we've been really trying to dial in and focus and make our operations as streamlined as possible. And once we've got that model down, which we believe we have, we can then expand to other cities. It's almost like a formula, obviously, except for the aspect where we're dealing with the merchants. That's where we really want to have a high-touch point.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. When you started this company, what month did you actually launch your business in? What month did you launch GatherGreen.com in?
We launched it in November.
Of last year?
That's right.
Wow. So how many co-founders was it you, and how many other co-founders did you have?
I have 3 other co-founders.
And and do you have other technology people working with you and a team?
Yeah, exactly. So since my background is in design, I've done a lot of the design work on the site, and I am the CEO, so I do everything from take out the trash to look for investors. And then I have a partner, Anand, who's on the technical side. He actually sold his last company to Oracle, and he's built the site. I have another partner named Steve Studlick, who has been doing all the marketing and user acquisition. And then I have another partner, Andrew Bohanton, in Chicago, who is in charge of sales.
Awesome. So this is a partnership, and without giving away any proprietary information, though, but it's always fascinating for our listeners to hear. When you said you're bootstrapping, I want you to define that, because a lot of people don't know what that means. And did you raise venture capital money? Was it friends and family money, or how are you doing the bootstrap here?
So basically, the founders are putting in the money for the business at this stage, and we have had discussions with investors, and we're trying to see what the best timing is to take on investment. But we're in the position right now where the business is growing at a healthy clip, and so we can continue to move forward without taking money. And a lot of times these days, after the .com or .boom crash, a lot of investors want to see businesses that are actually up and running and have traction, have revenue. And the longer you can kind of hold out before you actually take investment, the better off the terms will be for that investment. So basically, we're trying to do everything we can to continue to grow, expand, dial in operations, get into other cities before it's absolutely critical for us to take on any investment.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That sounds like a great plan. And how many merchants are you picking up on a monthly basis? Are you starting to gather some stream?
Absolutely. We're picking up about 40 to 50 merchants a month now.
Wow.
New merchants. Yeah.
And talk about social media. 10 years ago, not so important. Today, very important. How have you implemented the use? Because we're here on your site, and we see you have a very very big Facebook community already. What has been your plan or action with an interaction with the social media world to help build your great brand?
Yeah, absolutely. Facebook, Twitter, blogging, all those things are critical. I really wish I had more resources right now internally to do all the things that we want to do and will do with social media. But it's obviously a great tool to kind of engage your fans. Whenever we find interesting stories, articles, news that's out there on sustainability, we post it on Facebook, trying to share really our point of view with our consumers. And that's what shapes the brand. I think that interaction, all those touch points, besides the daily emails that we send out, our presence on all these social networks is what gives consumers an idea for who we are and what we believe in, what things we feel are important. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do.
We're back on your site. Mike and I are both looking at your site here, and it shows like some of your recent deals. And it shows how many. You're very transparent. It shows how many were actually purchased. I mean,
right.
if you're a merchant, you gotta love extra business coming through the door. 41 bought, 30 bought. I mean, you really are driving new business to these merchants.
Yeah, no, and it's great for us too to see what deals work and what deals don't work, and who our subscribers are in terms of what deals they're buying. I think that's really important because, as we all know, the market speaks. What sells is what sells, and so we're really trying to understand where the consumers are and what kinds of deals we can bring them. What are the deals that they really want that they're looking for? We're very excited about. I won't say a lot about it, but we're going to be running a solar deal pretty soon, which is going to be very cool. And like I said, the sky is the limit. I heard a rumor the other day that Groupon is selling houses. So it's like amazing what's possible with this platform.
Oh, my gosh. That's fascinating. You're right. I mean, you never know what happens and how people change their platforms and increase them. Yesterday, at our last show, Mike and I had one of our guests was talking about Best Buy and how they're getting into selling electric cars and also charging cars. So
right.
You just never know. Here I'm on your site, and there's so many. The food ones, especially, boy, so many. You have so many, like 105 bought for your vegetarian cuisine at Follow Your Heart Cafe. I mean, that's a great deal.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some hungry customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the especially in Los Angeles, the vegetarian and vegan community is really big, and there's so many great restaurants in Southern California, all sorts, and so we really have had a lot of success with working with those merchants.
Well, Mike and I, we're envious. We want you to bring your GatherGreen.com to Fresno too. Now we don't want to be left out of this. So this is great. This is great inspiration for us to try to gather other people to get GatherGreen to come over here too.
We'd love to do that. Yeah, especially for you two.
Yeah. Hey, Eduardo, share some other. We're down to the last couple of minutes here or so. And share some pearls of wisdom. I mean, this has been a journey for you. You're a designer, but you've got a huge social heart and social conscience, and that's why you're really known as a social entrepreneur. What's the journey been like? Are you hopeful about where this is going? Are you excited? Are you happy you don't no longer work for a big company and you've stepped out on your own with your partners? How does the whole journey feel and look for you from where you're sitting today?
Well, definitely, I feel like my life is much more aligned than what it used to be. I think that if you pursue your passions, you'll definitely discover the path that you need to be on. Obviously, the startup thing is a tough road. A lot of times, there's a lot of sacrifices you need to make. But in the end, I'm a very driven person, and I love what I do, and I love just really providing a platform for these great merchants, and also, really simply like saving people money, helping them discover amazing businesses, giving them confidence that these are great businesses that are doing really great things so that they can feel good about spending their money. I think in general, this country, we've obviously created great wealth, and we haven't always spent it in the smartest ways. And I think there is a big shift happening where people understand that, we have to balance things out. We can't just, extract value from the earth and not give back to it, not take care of it, not take care of people. I mean, who doesn't want to do these things in a more, I'll say it like a sexier way? In the past, it was basically just get what you can and move on and trash it. But now it's like, let's do it in a much cooler, funner way where we can make money and do good and stay healthy and keep people happy. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that?
You're right. I think that says it all, and I think you're absolutely right. And Eduardo, Mike and I are going to have you back on the show to talk more about your journey at a later date and talk about all the new cities that you've added by then and everything else. You're just doing tremendous work. For the merchants out there that want to sign up, please go to GatherGreen.com and sign up how it says you can interactively. And for our listeners out there in the Southern California region right now, please go and use GatherGreen.com so Eduardo can now take his brand to other great cities around the United States and hopefully eventually around the world. Eduardo Sciammarella, we are so honored that you came on our show today. You're a great social entrepreneur and truly living proof that green is good.